Yeah. There we go. Now we're live. Good morning, everybody. It is Friday. It is coffee chat time. Oh yes, she's gonna shut the door because we're loud. I should turn my mics on actually too. Technical difficulties this morning again. I saw that. If you can hear us on Instagram, let us know. Bob's watching. Bob, can you hear us? I've got the microphones on, but the light is flashing, so I don't know what that means.
We're flashing this on you.
We're flashing lights. But anywho, we made it. We're here. We're live. It looks like we're lagging a little bit on. Oh, thank you, Bob. It looks like we're lagging a little bit on Facebook. So if you don't like the lag, follow us on Instagram under Billy and B Town. We're live there as well, and it's not lagging. Doesn't appear to be. So good morning. I'm here with my special guest, Dede Stoner Guild Mortgage, for our mortgage update. We try to do these quarterly.
Yeah.
It's always a good time talking with you.
It is very lively
because you give it to us straight.
Yeah. If the truth is not your thing, don't watch this. Sign out right now, because
the truth is not.
I promise you, I'm not going to fluff. And if you need fluff, I'm not a fluff.
She's not your fluffer.
I'm not your fluffer.
We don't fluff around here.
I have to rewrite emails a lot.
I know. I'm the same way, and it's funny because Mandy Cook, Mandy Cook.
Yeah.
Bob knows Mandy Cook. She always tells me, she's like, you need to be a little bit nicer in your emails. You come off as mean, and I'm like, I'm sorry. So now I just add a smiley face after everything, and hopefully that.
So they used to say all the time that it was extremely unprofessional to use emojis and stuff like that in email correspondence. Mm-hmm. And now I'm actually seeing that is a way to connect with people, mm-hmm. is to use emojis.
I like emojis.
Yeah, I do too.
I like emojis. And it was funny because I got this new, this little, I'll show you. Oh, sorry, Instagram. I'm going to show something for a minute. I got this new little face tracker thingy. Oh my God, it's so laggy on Facebook. But it doesn't track like who's talking. It just tracks movement. So I shut it off because
it was tracking something over there and we're here. So Lexi, if you're watching, there's something in your office. Just so you know.
It kept like turning that way and that way.
It worked out.
The thing is wonky. I guess that's why the real one was like $400. I only spent $40 on this one, so that could be why. You don't get all.
I like the ghost.
You don't get.
I like the ghost.
Hey, ghost.
I have Sage at home that I can bring. We can sage your office.
Yeah, we got a ghost. We got a ghost joining us today. Ghost, would you like to say anything?
Yeah.
Oh, he's very quiet and shy. Well, and we got our coffees today. Yes. I got a chai. She's got a cold brew. Cheers.
Cheers.
Mazevo this morning.
Always good.
Yep, always good. Always good coffee. And then Dede just gave me this energy drink that I already had an energy drink today, but I'm going to have this tomorrow.
Yes, I'm showing her differently. I don't sell this. I was turned on to isogenic stuff, and I don't sell it, but I replaced my energy drink habit with the isogenics one, and I actually like it so much better.
A lot healthier, probably.
It just tastes better. It's just fresher. So I'm just having her try it.
And it's got adaptogens in it too.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but it sounds healthy.
So today we're going to chat about, the ongoings in the mortgage world and real estate. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put it in the comments and we will try to answer it. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if we don't know the answer, we will find out. Because, I don't know everything.
As much as I'm your lone girl.
Your lone girl. I almost wore my homegirl shirt.
Oh.
I should have. Dang it.
I'll have to coordinate
next time. Okay. So let's start with the rates, because right now there's probably a lot of people sitting on the fence going, the rates are too high. Mm-hmm. I'm going to wait for them to come down. What would you say to that? You showed me some examples and I thought, oh my God, this is brilliant. Mm-hmm. What would you say to that people are waiting?
So I taught a class this week to real estate agents, and I actually thought of this the night before when I was going through my presentation in the head. And I asked a couple of questions at the class. And so I'm going to ask these questions and see who can answer. All right.
The mic's not working.
Oh, it's not?
But if you want to hold it to look cool.
Am I looking? light's gone.
Again, I paid $20 for these and it's not working.
It's your Wish version.
The Temu, is it Temu?
I guess.
Temu?
Yeah, that's how I'd say it.
Brand. Yeah. But anyway.
Okay. So anyway, very important question here. Do we need a moment?
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Very important question.
Yes.
How many times since 2008 have the interest rates been around 6%? Okay. I'm going to think about that for a minute. Okay. Part 2 of the question. How many times since 2008 have sales prices been where they're at? Is it the rates? Is it the price?
No.
Is it a combination?
It's a combination.
Is it a combination? Yes. So there's a lot. We're angry. We're so angry about the interest rates. I've seen the interest rates around 6% many times since I've been in the business since 2008.
Yep.
And you know what? People still bought houses when interest rates were at 6 and 7%. I did. Prices were much different, right? So the focus on I'm going to wait till the rates go down. I feel like maybe there's some information and some education that I'm going to give you about a difference in the interest rate and your payment. Okay.
Absolutely. We're going to educate.
So we're going to educate. We're going to talk numbers. We're going to do some math here. I already did the math for you, so you don't have to worry about it. I'm going to compare a principal and interest payment only. So this does not include taxes, insurance, or private mortgage insurance at a sales price of $300,000. Okay. I'm going to let you know what the payment is at 6%, 6.5%, and 7%. Okay. Guys, get your pens down.
Get your calculators now.
Yeah. All right. So sales price, we're just going to pretend the loan amount is $300,000. At 6%, your principal and interest portion payment is $1,799. At 6.5%, it's $1,896. At 7%, it's $1,996. Do you know what that? So that's $100 difference between 0.5% of interest.
Yeah.
So my question to you, I ask my clients this a lot because everybody gets really focused. They're like, I'm going to wait for the rates to go down. I'm going to wait for the rates to go down. Well, they're predicting that rates may end up in the next few years in the low 6s. If we're lucky, they might go into the high 5s, but it's always better to prepare for the worst, right? What seems more reasonable? We know what we want, but what we want in reality are often two different things, right? Yeah. So anyway, I ask my clients this a lot. Would you be more angry if you bought a house now at where sales prices are at maybe a little bit higher interest rate, or wait until the interest rates go down just slightly, just a little bit? If they do, but you pay more per house. Mm-hmm. So what's going to make you more upset? In the meantime, if you wait for that lower interest rate and prices go up, that means that's equity lost. Absolutely. Right there. And that's the part I like to point out is, does it make you feel more comfortable? There's no right answer. Yeah. You know, everybody has their comfort levels and stuff, but just something to think about with that. It's not the rate. We're so focused on the interest rate. I'm so mad about the interest rate. I'm so mad. Everybody likes to be mad about something. You notice that? It's always something.
Which makes me laugh because you don't blink an eye when you're buying a car, right? And it's like 20-some% interest, yep. Or your credit card is 27% interest. You don't blink an eye at that.
That's very true. Mm-hmm. That is very true. When I see the car payments come through on the credit reports, and they're on average between $700 and $1,000 a month.
No, thank you.
That's insane. That gives me anxiety. I'm going to be angry when I have to buy a different car because that's just insanity to me.
And it depreciates. The value depreciates.
Yes, that is not an asset. So anyway, I'll ask, what are the rates on that? I hear anywhere from 7%, 13%, 20%, and nobody bats an eye at that. And that's for something that depreciates in value. It does not gain in value. It loses value every single year. It does. But the interest rate for a car, nobody bats an eye.
No, yeah. I know. It is interesting. It's a whole mindset thing that just needs to turn around. Because if you look at the people that bought in the 80s, I mean, what were the interest rates then? Like super high.
They were in the double digits.
Yeah, double digits. But where are they sitting now? They still own their house with equity. It's insanity.
Yeah, it is.
Where the equity is now in those houses that they bought in 1980.
It is.
So, like for instance, when I bought my house that I'm currently living in, the interest rate was like 6.5, I think.
And that wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, that was 2016, I think. And the equity that I have in my house now is insane. Like, I'm like, are you kidding me? So we're looking good. And now if I was to buy that house, I wouldn't be able to afford it. So that's just something to think about.
And the interest rates are now where they were then. Yeah. So it's not the rate.
More money.
It's not the rate, you guys.
Yeah.
So let's figure out how to make this current situation work for you. If there's a particular payment that's important to you, we'll back into what that sales price needs to be.
Right.
And if you need a payment at $2,000 a month, but you're looking at a $600,000 house, which I have that happen a lot. Those are not going to come together unless you have a large down payment. So let's take a look at what is your ideal situation, and then we'll back into that. And then if that means a $300,000 house, then we're going to shop in a $300,000 house.
Yep.
If you want a $350,000 house, well, then let's take a look at your budget to see if we can accommodate a little bit higher payment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I think that there's just a lot of disconnect of like payment, and then I can get this much house. Like, no, not anymore.
Yep.
Not anymore.
Exactly. So I'm still a believer in purchasing a home. I'd rather see people put their money into their own house. Not everybody's ready to buy a house, and that's okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. And I realize that the price ranges that some people need just don't exist in our market anymore.
Right.
So let's figure out how to make your current situation and the market come together.
Yeah.
And if we need to make some changes, we'll talk about, maybe we need to make some budget changes. Maybe we need to make some income changes. Maybe we need to make some employment changes, something so that we can help you get to where you want to be.
Maybe a little less Starbucks.
Yep. Or that.
My daughter doesn't want to hear that.
I get it. There's a place that I like to frequent, and I have to limit myself because now I get it. I'm like, how do people do this every single day? And then I found my favorite spot. And
what's your favorite spot? Do share.
It's Grit and Grind on Broadwater, 24th and Broadwater.
Oh, is it good?
Oh my gosh. So I've only had one coffee from them, but I like their Lotus drinks.
The Lotus energy drink.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the different flavors. And now I get why people go to those every single day. So I limit to once a week. And then I buy for the office because that's my justification. If I buy for the office, then I can get one and it's okay.
There you go. And it's a possible write-off. I'm not a CPA or anything, but maybe it could be.
Check with your CPA.
Yeah, check with your CPA.
I am not a professional.
I'm not an accountant, nor do I play one on TV. So no, thank you for that example, because I think that is what's happening is people are like, I'm gonna wait. Well, you keep waiting, you're gonna end up paying more or be locked out of the market because you can't afford to buy that house anymore. So
just remember, would you rather pay a less price for a house now with maybe a little bit higher interest rate, or wait for the rates to possibly go down just a little bit because they're not too far off right now where they're going to end up being, but if the prices keep going up, you're going to be in the same position pretty much.
Where are they kind of lying around? I know it depends on credit and all that, but kind of what's the range?
You can get into so here's mid 6, here's high 6. So you can
kind of in the middle.
Yeah, kind of in the middle. Perfect situation. I am not quoting rates.
Yes, this is not quoting rates.
You're not pre-approved for a loan from this video or comment or anything like that. Rates are subject to many different things, including credit report, home type, loan type, down payment, many different things. So this is not a rate.
Got to get that disclaimer out there. Well, Dede said.
I know. Oh my goodness.
That's funny. So tell us a little bit about some of the loan programs you got right now.
Oh, we've got some good ones that we're so excited about. I forgot to write this one down. I'm going to save that.
And you guys are really good about, putting different products out there to, to help people get it.
Absolutely. Yeah. One thing that Guild's really great at is they are proactive in the market. So it's really weird. So I've worked with Guild for collectively at least 13 years. And the one thing is they are always ahead of the game, and they must have some crystal ball that others don't have, because they start pushing and coming out with these different programs to help different aspects of the market. And it's really impressive. Like, oh my goodness, this is amazing how, and then, 6 to 8 months later, we'll see the competition come up with the same stuff. So it's really wonderful that they're so proactive on stuff. So one of our most popular ones that right now, those of you who have equity in your home and you've got that great interest rate that we locked you in at, pre-COVID,
and now you'll never
right
leave.
around COVID 4 years ago. I have many clients who are in this position that they have gained equity. They want to tap into that equity, but they don't want to refinance and lose their interest rate.
Right.
So we have a home equity loan that we can use that up to 90% of that equity in your home. And so what that means is you'll keep your first mortgage. So let's say your home is worth, let me get my math out here. Let's say your home is worth $400,000 and you currently have a loan on it for $250,000. Okay. So if we were to loan up to 90% of that, that's $360,000 total, the maximum amount that we can loan against a home. So 400 is your value. Our total that we can loan against it is 360. You currently have a mortgage on it for 250. So that means you have 110,000 in equity that you can tap into to use if you were to max out this home equity loan. So the home equity loan is a fixed rate. It's different from a home equity line of credit. Now, home equity line of credit is basically like a credit card that you're opening up against your home. The payment is, or the interest rate is typically adjustable. The payment is interest only. So that means it's like a minimum payment on a credit card. You have to be disciplined to pay more than that payment in order to pay that balance down. The likelihood, I never see people actually pay their HELOCs down because that minimum payment, we're payment based, right?
Yes.
We don't buy things, we buy payments, right?
Yeah.
So the home equity loan is a fixed rate, and that payment does go towards paying down the balance. So many times I'll open up a credit report, or I'll go to pre-approve somebody that wants to sell their current home and they want to buy a new one. Well, they've taken out this home equity line of credit. Let's say it's for $50,000, and let's say they took it out 4 years ago. That balance still is 4 years later, $50,000, because they just made the interest payment on it, right?
Right.
So that's equity in your home that you're using. So that's less equity that you're going to get back when you sell your home.
Yeah.
If the more you loan against your property, the less equity you have when you go to sell it, right?
Right.
So that's the benefit of the home equity loan, is that you're actually paying that balance down. And we can do that for 30 years. We can do 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Their interest rate's the same, no matter what the term is. Okay. So I always encourage people, you know what, if it makes sense and is more comfortable, let's do the 30 years so the payment is lower, but you can make the payment as though it's a 10-year. There's no penalty for paying early. And I always highly encourage on all loans to pay extra for its principal.
Yeah.
So anyway, we did one recently for a client, and we saved them $2,500 a month in payments.
Wow.
Their home equity loan was around $500 a month. I think it was $550 something, but we saved them $2,500 a month in payments from the debts that we paid off.
Dang. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a chunk.
It's a huge chunk.
That's a mortgage payment.
It is a mortgage payment. Yes. And so that's the benefit of that. So there are resources out there for that. Now, there is a minimum credit score of 6. We have 2 different versions that we can work with. A 660 credit score is the minimum, and also a 680. And I have clients who are not at those. And so then we need to take a look at maybe a refinance is the better way to go. Yes, you're going to lose your interest rate, but the interest rate on the refinance is going to be less than the interest rate on those debts that you need help paying off.
That's
so
true.
We've done that a couple of times, and we're saving people hundreds of dollars a month.
That's something you don't even think about.
Yeah. On
Yeah.
average, between $500 to $700 a month, and that's after the increase in the house payment with the higher interest rate.
Interesting.
So we know there's a lot of debt out there, and it's becoming a hardship for many.
It is.
And so we have options.
I love that. That's a good idea.
We need to stop focusing on the interest rate.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to sit in your interest rate and be uncomfortable making those payments every single month, struggling every single month? Or do you want to take a look at your options and have a little bit of financial relief?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you'll probably, I mean, do you envision seeing a lot of that, those people that did get that 2.9 or 2.5 or whatever, and the 2s and 3s, wanting to make like remodels to their house because they don't want to lose an interest rate.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So it's a great loan. Super easy to do. So if you have remodeling that you want to do, let's talk. If you have debt that you want to consolidate, which I know a lot of you do, I see it every single day, and life's expensive.
It makes you angry.
It makes you angry. We can help alleviate that. So let's definitely talk. Life's expensive. We don't need to. There's options out there so that you don't have to continue to stress every day.
Does that include like medical bills? Like, is that something that gets wrapped into that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. If there's something that is just making your financial life a stress, let's help alleviate that, because we can do that. I have lots of options.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're Superwoman.
Can I have a cape? Do I get a cape?
I think you deserve a cape.
Wristbands, power wristbands.
Yeah, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman.
I always wanted to be Wonder Woman when I was a girl.
I could totally see being Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
You need the costume.
I do.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Okay. And then do video content on it. Like, let me be your Wonder Woman.
I'm gonna make a new T-shirt. Let me be your Wonder Woman.
Do it. And then you're just like this, and I like it.
This is great stuff.
See, we always come up with something when we're chatting.
I know. Because mortgages aren't sexy, you guys.
Mortgages
we need to make it fun.
Not sexy.
Unless you're a numbers nerd like me.
And I'm not. I'm like,
yeah, give me those pieces. I'm going to put them together in a puzzle.
Yes.
One way or another, we're going to jam them all together.
We're going to put them together.
Because I'm going to be angry.
And then she's going to super glue it all so it doesn't move. No. Carol Lee says, love how Dede is a big picture kind of gal. Yes. You are.
I am.
Tell it like it is.
Tell it like it is. I don't like little boxes. I hate being put in little boxes. We're going to figure it out.
That's right.
I promise.
That's right.
It might not be in the time frame that you think or that we want. And maybe there's going to be some hard pieces, but we're going to figure it out.
They're like not shaped right, but we're going to get it in there anyway.
Exactly. A conversation that I had with a client recently, because we couldn't get her qualified for the refi that she needed. And she was open to hearing things that she could do with her budget. So I went through her bank statements to kind of get an idea where the funds were going. And she had over $400 a month in subscriptions.
Like Hulu and that
lots of Amazon stuff. And that was just that. That doesn't include the DoorDash shopping, anything like that. It was just subscriptions. And so if there's anything that you take away today and you feel like, God, where's my money going? It's at the end of the month. I don't know where things are going, because nobody balances a checkbook anymore, right?
No.
You just look at your app. And you're like, oh, I have $268 left to spend. I can spend that. You just
want to make sure you have money in your account.
What's still coming out of your account. There could be 3 subscriptions that are going to come out in that time, but we forget about that because nobody balances to a register anymore.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you feel like it's getting tight every single month, look at your subscriptions. It's super easy to do. I have actually canceled almost $200 myself.
Wow.
Yeah. I have one more. It's my life insurance policy. I have another one.
Don't you want to keep that?
I have another one in place.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
I was waiting a year for that one to be okay because I was advised just in case that there's an audit and they find something and it cancels. I didn't want to cancel the first one. So
smart.
yeah, I have a term policy that I've had for at least over 10 years. And it started out cheap, but now that I'm getting older, I'm almost 50, it's getting to be $60 a month. And which $60 a month is, I hate payments, you guys.
I do too.
Every fiber of my being, I hate payments. So I try to get rid of them as much as I can. So like I said, I've already set up a different policy that I have that I feel like is a much better fit. Plus it actually accrues value on it, whereas a term life policy just costs me more money every single month. So anyway, once I cancel that, I will have canceled about $200.
And that's substantial.
Mm-hmm. It is.
That
adds up fast.
Yeah, that could be helping you make a payment on a house that you want.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now I've seen some commercials lately for like budgeting apps that kind of, like you said, with the subscriptions, because if you're like me, I subscribe to all this stuff, or I do like a free trial, and I completely
and then forget to cancel it. Right?
I have a funny story. Okay, so my son Miles is hooked into our Amazon account, right? And for some reason, I don't know if I did it or my husband did it or my kid did it. I don't know. But we subscribed to AMC. Mm-hmm. It was like I don't know, $6.99 a month, $9.99 a month. I don't know. I don't even know what it was. And my son was like getting like payments taken out of his card. And he's like, well, what is this for? It says Amazon or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know. You probably rented a movie or something. I didn't pay much attention to it. So I finally sit down and I go into my Amazon account, and maybe we did like a free trial and forgot to cancel it or something. Mm-hmm. So we were paying every month for 6 months for a channel that we never watched, and it was like $70.
Oh my God!
And I was like, oh crap. So of course I had to Venmo my kid, give him the money back, but I'm like, see, I mean, how easy can these and that's money. I mean, that's $70 that I could have got a new pair of shoes or something, you know? So it's just, and so my point is, I'm kind of going in a circle to get there, but do you have any apps that you would recommend to people like for budgeting, or that keeps like subscriptions intact? Because I've seen some stuff on commercials. I haven't actually tried one yet, but is there any that you recommend to people or that you use yourself?
I'm not a technology person.
Okay.
I'm a numbers gal. Until COVID, I balanced my checkbook every week. And then I got
with your little ledger.
With my little ledger. Do you know it's hard to get those little ledgers anymore?
I know.
Yeah.
They don't give them to you anymore.
So I still use a ledger, but it's to keep track of my bill pay stuff and when I pay stuff online.
Yeah.
Just because I know things can go awry and I don't want to have to try and remember, because I'm not going to remember.
Right.
So I do keep track of my bill pay type stuff. So I'm not an app person. I'm sorry. I'm not a technology person. Paper and a pen. This will never let me down. Apps let me down.
I still use a paper planner.
I think that's great.
I get made fun of so much. Mm-hmm. Like, use the Google Calendar. I just can't do it.
I know. I'm the same. When people want to make appointments with me, if I'm not at the office and my desk calendar is in front of me where I have all of my appointments written down, I have to say, you know what? I got to get back to you tomorrow. I'm in front of my desk calendar because I have it written down.
I'm so glad that there's
so that I can see it
like me, because I'm the same way. It has to be like visual. Like,
I know. I don't understand this having to add it in all these computers or all these calendars. It's just
too much.
It's too much.
Too much. And then you got to remember to plug it in.
Right. That too. Yes. I will absolutely. I'll be like, oh, I can enter that in later, and I promise you, 5 seconds later, gone.
Yeah. So if you're watching and you use a particular app for this, comment below and let us know what it is. So maybe her and I will try it out. Maybe report back the next coffee chat live.
Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about some other fun programs.
We always end up like,
I know,
detouring.
We just need to make a podcast.
We should. So I am looking for office space for myself, like a private.
Saw that. I was wondering why.
Yeah, because like I want to be able to do podcasts, like, didn't have people come, because right now my office is very community. So people could be walking in as I'm doing the coffee chat. So if you know of any offices out there that would be good for that, hit me up. Anyway, go ahead.
Billy needs an office.
So I can do these coffee chat podcasts live. And maybe we'll put it on Spotify. Ooh, I wonder what that takes. Anyway, we'll look at that later.
Good. All right. Back to
You'll be my first guest.
Yay!
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so back to marches.
Yes.
These are for my physician friends. Those of you that are in school, maybe you're in medical school right now and you're just about done and you're getting those contracts signed at the hospitals. Or maybe you are a physician currently and you would like to purchase a home and not put any money down.
Hey,
we have that. We have a 0% down physician loan. We actually have two different options for physicians. One's a 0% down for certain career specialties. And then if your specialty does not fit into that parameter, then we have a different version that's 3% down. But our 0% down, our doctors love these, especially when they're just getting out of school. We know that haven't been making very much money, if any, because of schooling. You can get into up to $1 million, 0% down, no PMI.
Wow.
And so, yep, it's super great. And we can close on the home within 60 days of you starting your job. So let's say we just closed on one where the doctor is going to close. He starts in the middle of September. And so we just closed on his home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So him and his partner can get moved in, settled in, start living life in Billings. Yep. And start their job in the next few months. So that is a great program if you know of anybody who is getting ready to graduate medical school. We also have one for residency as well. So
that's good.
Yep, absolutely. So
we have a lot of people coming into Billings.
Yes, we do.
Medical. Yeah,
we sure do. So they really like it.
That's a really good program.
It is. Yeah, they really love the 0 down and the no PMI part.
Is there like a credit score? Like you have to have a minimum credit score for that?
Yeah, it is a minimum credit score of 680, but if you're between 680 and 720, it's a 5% down.
Okay.
720 and above is 0% down.
Nice.
And if you want to purchase a home between 1 million and 1.25 million, then it's 5% down.
Okay. Still
no PMI.
Yeah. That's pretty good. That's really good.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
Okay.
All right. So our next one is another 0 down program. So you know how down payment assistance programs are typically for first-time homebuyers only, and there's income limits, which means there's a cap on what you can make in order to use that program.
Right.
We have one that you can get into an FHA loan, 0 down, and there's no income limit, and you don't have to be a first-time homebuyer.
Oh.
So this is really great. So what it is that you have your regular FHA loan at 3.5% down, but you'll have a second loan for that 3.5% down. So you'll have 2 loans. But you don't have to come up with that down payment. And so it's just going to be closing costs that you have to worry about covering. And so it can be maybe somebody has just enough for the closing costs, or have the seller, see if the seller can negotiate, or you can negotiate the seller paying the closing costs, maybe a combination of both. And so it truly, even if you're making $200,000 a year, saving money is a challenge in a lot of cases, especially in today's world. It's so expensive today. So anyway, it doesn't matter what your income level is if you want to take advantage of this program. Now, obviously, with the FHA loan, there are income limits that are set every year by FHA. And so this year, the maximum loan amount is $498 something. So that means if you want to get into a home at 3.5% down, your maximum, let's use 498 divided by 96.5. Your maximum sales price is going to be $516. So let's say $515.
Okay.
If you want to purchase, and if that fits in your budget and you find a home at $515 or below, you can use this program, and then just the closing costs, however you guys negotiate that. The seller agrees to pay that. That can be 0 money out of your pocket except your earnest money.
That's really good.
Home inspection.
That's really good. And so that second loan, is that something that you're paying on, or is that something you just pay off, like if you were to go sell your house in one lump sum?
It has a monthly payment. Okay. Yep. And I highly encourage, if you're going to pay extra towards that, because there's no prepayment penalty to pay that off early. Instances where this is a good fit are A, the higher income households. B, let's say you bought a home in the last few years and the equity isn't quite there to be able to purchase a new home, or maybe you're using the proceeds from that sale to pay debt off, but you don't have anything left over for a down payment on a new house, but you need to buy a new house. You want to buy a new house. This program is perfect for that.
Okay.
People going through divorces. Let's say you're selling the home as part of the divorce agreement. You split the equity. Maybe there's just not enough left over for a down payment for a new house.
Right.
This is perfect for that because you don't have to be a first-time home buyer.
That's nice.
Yep.
That is nice.
Yeah. So it's great.
And it is it because it's not like a Montana Board of Housing second loan. Who's backing that up? Like is it just part of?
I can't remember who the investor is.
Okay.
So it closes through Guild and then it gets sold to the investor after closing.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. I like that.
I know.
That's
it's a great one.
Yeah.
Down payment is one of the biggest struggles that I run into.
Mm-hmm.
And because incomes have increased so much here in Billings, on average, I see hourly rates $25 an hour and up. It's so that really pushes against those limits, especially if you have a 2-person household.
Yeah.
That you can surpass those typical income limits really quickly.
Right.
With that. So it's great that we have this option now because even though income has gone up, so is the price of everything.
Yeah.
If you go to the grocery store, I get mad every time I go to the grocery store.
It makes me angry when I go to Costco.
And I spend $100 and I have 6 bags of groceries and I don't buy expensive stuff. You know, it's like produce and coffee or water or milk and butter. You know, I don't buy alcohol.
Yeah.
I get my meat at Costco. So that's a whole different animal over there.
Oh man.
Costco is like Target.
Costco's
By the way,
insane.
I love Costco.
I hate Costco. Here's the thing. I have a love-hate for Costco. Okay. Because yes, you're saving money on most things, right? Like, and they have my built protein bars there. So I like that. And like you can get the hard boiled eggs and people make fun of me. Like, why don't you just boil your own eggs? I don't have time for that.
Do you trust those?
Yeah. Why?
Like, how do you know how old those are?
If there is an expiration date, I don't know. Do you not eat hard boiled eggs?
I do my own, not pre-made.
Not the pre-made ones? Well, they feel
You're
like
asking for intestinal distress.
You think so? I eat those all the time. I eat them every morning for breakfast.
Do you have the parts?
No. I don't actually. We were talking about being lactose intolerant. I got her a coffee and they asked me, like, does she want cold foam? I'm like, I don't know. Does she want creamer? I don't know. So I said no because in case she has lactose intolerance, I'm like,
didn't want to suffer.
I don't want to. I'm sure it would take at least an hour to kick in. I'd be out of here. You're off as an that.
Anyway, I'm concerned about your hard boiled.
Why? I haven't got sick yet, and I've been eating them all the time.
I don't know. I'm a pretty risky person, but that is
Now you got me thinking.
You should be thinking about that.
So why would they sell it if it's unsafe? And they're little packs.
It's not they're unsafe. You don't know how old and how long they've been sitting there.
Well, how long can they last?
I don't know.
Well, they're peeled. They're like pre-peeled.
Peeled?
They're already peeled, and they put them in these little pouches, and there's some sort of liquid in there. Maybe the liquid keeps.
You are not
keeps them
convincing
going.
me.
No. Well, anyway, that's one of the things I purchased at Costco.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Okay, so I went to Costco the other day with my son, and I think I got maybe a few things. It was like $270, and he's even like, "Geez, Mom, what'd you buy?" And I'm like, "Welcome to adulthood, son." Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
Things are expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that's my love hate with Costco. And then I go in there thinking, okay, I'm not going to bring a cart because then I don't want to like buy, you know what I mean?
Stuff just falls in. Seriously.
And then I'm sitting there holding all these items because, yeah, it's a problem.
It is a problem.
Damn you.
I have to go to Costco today, actually.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm wearing my boots, so that because you can't walk around in Costco in heels.
I have done that and it was torture.
It's terrible.
It was a dumb idea.
Even I've done it with wedges once, and I'm like, never again. No, this was a terrible idea.
Definitely a tennis shoe place, but they do have good deals on big screen TVs. I will say that. But I'm waiting for them to get. Sorry, we're kind of detouring again. I'm waiting for them. I don't know if we got Halloween lovers out there. I'm a huge Halloween junkie. I have the 12-foot skeleton, and now they have this coming out of the ground skeleton. Have you seen that?
I have seen, because there is a Facebook page called Costco Finds.
What?
And so people put their stuff on there that they find and they review it.
So you've seen it.
So I have seen it recently.
It's so cool.
Is it big?
It's huge.
Is it?
But they don't have it at ours yet.
Oh.
So I'm hoping. So if you guys see it there, call me because I want to buy
Billy needs a new Halloween decoration.
Even though my son was like, Mom, you don't need it. You already have it. I don't care. I'm going to buy it.
You can't have too many Halloween decorations.
You can't. You really can't.
No.
Or skeletons that are coming out of your ground. So anyway, that's my story on Costco.
Okay. Yes. All right. So one more. I've been saving this one for last. And there's a reason, because I'm a little nervous. I'm starting to practice on this one. And this one makes me nervous because the process of this loan option is very different than a regular loan option. So we now offer loans for mobile homes and parks. Yes. Yep. 5% down.
Wow.
Yep. Even if it's 580 minimum credit score. So even at 580, you can do 5% down.
Wow.
Obviously, the interest rate's going to reflect that. And I'm sorry, mobile home interest rates are just higher than mortgage interest rates. It's just the way it is.
That makes sense.
The more you have down, the better your interest rate is going to be. They are 25-year loans, and they still follow the typical manufactured home guidelines. Has to be newer than June of 1976.
Okay.
But it's obviously, I understand it's the affordable housing option. And I say that in quotes because when you add in the lot rent.
Oh, God. Don't even get me started.
Exactly. When you add in the lot rent plus the payment for the home, you're almost at a payment for a stick-built house at that point. So we really need to have that conversation. People really need to understand. They get really focused on just that sales price. They're like, oh, I can get into a mobile home in the park for $100,000. I just did an estimate for somebody 2 days ago at $100,000 at $700 a month lot rent, and it was $1,700 payment.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind when you are taking a look at that option. And so anyway, I'm going to go back to this. This is not a typical residential loan type of process. So when we pre-qualify you or pre-approve, I don't qualify, pre-qualify, pre-approve.
Pre-approve, I like that better than pre-qual.
We are going to get all of your documentation up front, your pay stubs, W-2s. We're going to go through and we're going to make sure you're pre-approved before we issue that a pre-approval letter. With mobiles, we work with a third party on that. And so we have to submit an application to them with an actual property address. Now, it doesn't mean you have to put in an offer on that. We're just going to ask you to give us an address of some of the homes that you're looking at so that we can submit that application. So we have to have as accurate information as possible on that application. It's not a fast turnaround. So people who are chaotic, if you're chaotic with your life and your finances and your decisions and you just make decisions on the fly and you're like, oh, I found this mobile I want to make an offer on, that's not going to work. No, I promise you, we need to have this figured out before you put that offer in on a home. And it can take several days for them to get back to us. So we're basically the middle party on this. So we're going to collect that information from you, then we're going to submit it to them. Now, their underwriting processes are old school. So with residential loans, we have an automated underwriting system that we plug this information in and we run it through. And so this program reads the information and spits out a decision. With mobile homes, we're back to 1980 type of underwriting. So they're going to take a look at this picture and they're going to be more conservative. Self-employment, We need 2 years. That's just all there is to it. Whereas a regular home, we might be able to get away with 1 under certain circumstances.
Okay.
So we're just setting that expectation out there that we can do them. It's a different process. And we need to be more prepared. Also, plan for maybe a little bit longer closing times, because if they send us the approval and then we send them the buy sell and do all of the appraisal and whatnot.
So they do an appraisal like a normal. Okay.
Yep, they do a normal appraisal.
Okay.
And then we send them the conditions, and conditions are pay stubs, W-2s. Why do we have 3 pages of collections, or why do we have these large deposits in our bank statement, or whatever may stick out that's unusual financial activity, or maybe why do the pay stubs have one has 38 hours and one has 45, stuff like that. So we're going to submit that information to them. Again, this is manual stuff. There's nothing automated about this.
Oh, geez.
And this is old school.
No wonder you're nervous.
I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
I'm also used to being in control of the file.
Yes.
Right. So it can be done. I know of another lender who works with this investor, and she has it figured out. She said once you do a couple of them and just kind of figure out the processes, it's fine. And so I'm just a control freak, so I'm going to make sure what are the things that are that they're looking for, so that we can make sure to do that up front.
Right.
But again, this is not. If you're chaotic, this is not. This is not going to go well.
like a week long, would you say, to give it?
I would say at least 3 days.
Okay.
So once we submit that information to them, so we're going to get your regular application information. We're still going to get that documentation from you, because I need to make sure that when I submit that information to them, it's as accurate as possible.
Yeah.
I'm not going off of somebody telling me they make $9,000 a month when in reality they make $4,700, and that's a real story. By the way, I use that when I teach my real estate class. The reason why we don't do pre-qualifications, because this particular person put this in their application. When I reviewed their documentation, it came up as $4,700 a month. And so when I reached out and I said, when I'm looking at your documentation, this is what I'm figuring.
Am I missing something here?
Yeah. Did you get a raise that maybe I'm not seeing on here? Am I missing something? And she just said, no, I just put that in there just to get things going.
Oh no.
That's the reason why. And I promise you, every single time, I've only done it a handful of times, maybe on one hand, not a handful, but like a few times on one hand. And every time that I've issued the pre-approval without reviewing stuff, it's bit me in the butt.
Oh my gosh.
Every time.
And why would you put incorrect information? Like it's gonna be found out eventually, right?
That one boggled my mind
a
bit. Most of the time I think it's just people have a different interpretation of their income.
Yeah.
And also, this is what I have figured out too, is people go off of whatever their most recent pay stub was. So like with overtime and commission and stuff like that.
Yes.
Let's say there's a pay stub that had $800 in overtime. So they'll put, I earned $800 a month in overtime, but when I average it out over 2 years, it's $300 and some dollars a month.
Yeah.
Well, it's because we have to use an average, because we know overtime, stuff like that, goes like this. Right.
Yep.
But in their mind, they just remember, oh, on my last pay stub, it was $800 a month.
Yeah.
And so again, if I wouldn't have verified that, I would be pre-qualifying somebody for more income than what they actually earn. So they'd be buying a higher price house, put in an offer, and then we'd have to take it back.
Yeah. Well, kind of going back to the mobile home thing too, because I've had some clients looking in that direction because it's affordable.
Right. It's the price.
Yeah, the price. Exactly. But there's a few mobile home parks that are charging $700 a month in lot rent. And you're just like, what? But here's what scares me. And I always tell this to my clients that are looking to buy a mobile home. That could be increased again and again and again. And then what are you going to do? You're stuck.
And how do the values on mobiles work? Do they increase like stick-built homes do?
I don't think so. Like, I mean, that's not what I'm seeing. In fact, there's a mobile home that's sitting across the street from me. There's a mobile home park that is across the street from me, and it's actually a really nice mobile home park. He's got it listed at like 145. He's not going to get that.
No.
No, because I was looking at comps and stuff, and I'm like, where are they getting this number? Because I don't see it. I don't see it. But I mean, maybe somebody who's desperate to get into something and that's what they can afford, they might buy it. But again, it has to appraise unless you're buying cash.
Yeah, unless you're paying cash.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's just insane to me.
Yeah. So the process is still similar. It's just that the mobile process is going to take a little bit longer. And again, it's old school review. It's not how we review regular residential stuff.
That's good to know that there's an option.
Exactly. There is an option.
Yeah.
I have to just retake a 45-minute training. I went to take it I went to look in last night to see if I had done it. And I have done it. I just don't remember it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Where was I when I took that?
Exactly. I actually have one couple who's going to be my perfect guinea pig for this program.
Okay.
So I'm excited. They're a wonderful couple, and I think that this will work really well for them.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's available. The whisperings have been out for about a month, and so I've had people kind of poking, hey, are you guys ready for that yet? And I've been holding off just because I am a perfectionist. Yes. I don't like to let people down. I want to make sure that I'm good at it before I do it, right?
Yes.
But somebody's going to have to be my guinea pig.
Yes. Now, question, because they just kind of came to me. So if it's a mobile home on land that they own, it would kind of same process, or would that be looked at differently?
No. So if they own the land, then it's a regular residential.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
And you know the ones that have been moved more than once? This program will work for that.
Okay,
yep,
good.
So we can do that.
Okay, good. Yeah, because that's kind of a weird rule.
It is a weird rule. I'm not really sure where that came into play, but it's been a...
Is it because they're afraid they're going to move it again? I don't know.
It's possible. I mean, if you're doing giving them a loan on land and the home, and then they pick up the home and they leave. Yeah. That's kind of
it's risky.
That's a problem.
It's more risky. That's probably why it's higher.
It could be.
Yeah, interest rates and stuff. That's good to know. Look at this. I just learned a bunch.
I know. It's so exciting.
Are you still doing the what is it? 3-2-1 or 2-1 rate buy down? Is that a popular thing right now? Are people doing that?
It's available, but it's not really a thing.
Okay.
Because as people are finding out, those who got into that several years ago with the assumption that they would be
hasn't gone down yet.
Financing in 2 years. Do you remember the marry the house, date the rate, or whatever that was popular?
Yep.
Yeah, there's some people who are unfortunately finding out that was not maybe the best decision to go with. So it's available, but how that works is the seller will put money up front for the difference in the interest between what the interest rate is locked in at, and then to cover the interest rate for the, let's say 3 years. So the first year, let's say they lock in at 7%. So the first year, the payment will be based upon an interest rate of 4%. The loan is still accruing interest at 7%, but the seller has provided that difference to make the difference in the interest payment between that time. So then the next year, so 3-2-1. So the first year it starts out 3% less. The second year it starts out 2% less. The last year is 1% less. Year 4, you're back at 7%.
Right.
So anyway, that can be a pretty significant payment difference.
Yes.
And so when people hear that, oh, I can have a payment at 4% interest for a year, that's all they hear is that 4% interest. But then when I show them the difference in the payment and that their payment could go up anywhere on a smaller loan amount, it'll be $200 a month. On a bigger loan amount, it could be $400 or $500 a month. So the next year, your payment is increasing. Let's say $400 a month. Yeah. That doesn't include taxes and insurance. That's just the interest payment on a larger priced home.
Right.
And so I will ask people, how do you feel about your budget? Can your budget handle a monthly increase of $400 to $500 a month on your house payment? And when you put it to them like that, that's a big difference, because how much a $50 a month increase causes panic with a lot of budgets. So when you put it like that,
it's a big
thing. Absolutely. So it's better if you can negotiate that, or even if you want to pay it yourself, sometimes it's better just to pay for a permanent buy down. You're not going to permanently buy down to 4%.
Right.
A, that rate's not available.
Right.
B, it would cost tens of thousands of dollars, and that makes absolutely 0 sense to do that. I was talking with a client recently who had an online lender pushing to pay 5 points to buy down the rate. It was over $17,000 to do that. The difference in the payment was, I think, $150 a month.
Dang.
Yeah. So it doesn't always make sense to do that. And if you're being pushed to do that, I think it's a good idea to talk with, maybe get a second opinion on that, because there's better ways to use that money.
So for example, say, I'm just throwing out numbers. Say right now the interest rate is 7, and I do the rate buy down thing. So 3 years from now, say the interest rates drop to 5. Am I stuck at the 7?
No, you can refinance to the 5. If you can't refi, then yes, you are.
Got it. But then that's extra money out of your pocket to refinance, correct?
It doesn't have to be out of your pocket. If you have the equity in your home, you can wrap it into your loan.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah,
good to know. Okay, so here's kind of the elephant in the room. Are you ready for this? Oh, what's Bob say? Does that include brand new ones? I'm guessing he's lost sound. Can you hear us? Oh, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Oh no, why did I lose sound? He said, does that include brand new ones? I'm assuming he's talking about mobile homes.
Oh, are you talking about brand new mobile homes, Bob?
I think he is. I don't know that he's on anymore, but let's just say he is. Does that include new ones?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So there is a new park on 48th and King that they have a lot of brand new mobile homes over there. So yep, these would be These would be a good fit.
Perfect. So with the new NAR settlement stuff, with changes down the pike, I know I said it, NAR settlement. So we're gonna have to start requiring a buyer's representation form before we even show a house. Okay,
that's a lot of work for you guys.
It is. But my question to you is, I'm getting this asked a lot. If a seller is not going to pay the buyer's rep compensation, can they roll in that fee into their loan?
It's a really good question. It's coming up a lot. In general, there are no fees that can be financed into a loan. And this will be no different. So where it may get financed into the loan is if it's negotiated into the sales price, because then your sales price goes up, so your loan amount goes up. So in essence, you're financing it in the loan that way. But there is, let's say you have a $300,000 loan amount and you need to cover a $9,000 commission. We can't raise the loan amount to $309,000 to cover that. Unless there's an appropriate down payment. So let's say you have a 10% down payment. We'll just lower the down payment so that you can use your available funds to pay that. So instead of a 10% down payment, maybe we're going to do a 5%.
So that could be worked out that way. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. So in any instance where the buyer is going to be paying the buyer's agent's fee, let us know ahead of time, because we will include it on their loan estimate. And then we will make sure that it's part of the underwriting process and that it gets paid at closing, so that we have to verify they have the assets to cover the regular loan closing costs plus the buyer's agent.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, that way we can make sure, because I've seen a couple of instances in other areas where it comes down to a few days before closing and the buyers say, oh, sorry, I can't pay your fee. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Ouch.
So it's really important. Let us know so that we can help facilitate that, because if we don't know about it,
oh man,
we can't make sure that they have the funds for closing.
Yeah. Because I'm kind of wondering how that's all going to play out with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys will have it handled.
We always do.
Yep.
We always figure it out.
Yep. You guys, I think that I think that there will be those who will try and fight the system, but it seems like in general, people understand the value of having a realtor on their side.
I sure hope so.
I hope you guys understand this, because I work with transactions all the time where it's a for sale by owner or a limited listing service. So that means it's listed on the MLS, but that agent does not facilitate anything, does not answer any questions, does not help. And that really hurts the buyer who's not truly represented.
Oh, absolutely.
And it makes a transaction a lot harder than what it needs to be.
Yeah.
So it's truly not worth the few thousand.
No.
Let's talk about how we're going to find that.
Yeah, well,
in a different way.
And it's so much so that I won't do dual agency anymore. That's just something I won't touch. But I have had buyers come and say, well, that's fine. I'll just go unrepresented. And I'm like, no. Like you that's not in your best interest, right? Like I would rather pay that extra money to that buyer agent and have them represented because I believe in it so much that that's the way to go. So
there's just, we've all seen when somebody's not represented and the situation is taken advantage of.
Yes, absolutely.
It's really tough. And I'm not a realtor. I can't answer those questions, and I can actually get in huge trouble for that.
You're not a realtor, nor do you play one on TV.
Nor do I play one on TV.
Just like me, I'm not a lender, nor do I play one on Coffee Chat. I'm going to direct you to talk to Dede.
Exactly. The real estate questions, I always will refer them back to you guys. I just am not knowledgeable when it comes to that. I'm a numbers girl.
We got to stay in our lanes. We're going to stay in our lanes. And on that note, I have to say, Dede will, like, how many times have you answered your call on a weekend after hours? Like, even if it's not a client of yours, I'm asking a question and you're very, very open to answer those. So I appreciate that.
You are welcome. I know how it is. And me, if it's something that I can just answer quickly, I'm just going to do it, because the amount of anxiety and stress that it causes me knowing that there's something waiting, it's just like this, like Chinese,
it's like this. Sitting there.
It's just
and it makes me angry.
I know.
You don't want to see me angry. It's like the Hulk. All of a sudden, big green monster.
Oh gosh.
Little tiny little thing just turning into this big green monster Hulk guy.
I know.
It's had a funny visual. We went from Wonder Woman to the Hulk within an hour of time. Holy cow, speaking of, it's already 10:12.
Is it really?
See, you and I can just talk for hours and not even realize what time it is.
And we're hilarious.
And we're hilarious.
This is,
We're
funny. You guys,
are funny.
We make this fun.
We do.
See? Mortgages can be fun. I promise I'm going to try and make them as fun as possible.
Yes.
Because I know people, they're like, I
know.
In my classes,
Yes.
When I teach the first time homebuyer classes,
Oh, yes.
I'm like, hey, I see you.
Here, take one of these. You just hand these out to them as they come in. Take this.
Everybody up, we're doing jumping jacks.
You kind of, because I think that some of it goes over people's heads. I know for me, even some of this stuff, I'm like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Trying to calculate in my head.
Absolutely.
And I think just understanding it and you putting it into like layman's terms and storytelling, I think that's really what resonates for the average Joe like me.
Yep.
And I deal with this all the time.
I know it's not fun. I know people, there's,
when it comes to their money.
People, people want to spend it. And they don't want to be told no.
Yep.
Don't stand in my way of spending my money.
I'm spending my money.
And I'm that barrier. I'm going to be the one that says, hold up.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
We can spend this much of your money, not this much.
Yeah.
Well, that reminds me. That reminds me.
What?
Okay. So I hear this a lot. I see it a lot on Facebook.
Let's hear it.
I pay $2,000 a month in rent, but the bank says I can only afford a $1,200 mortgage payment. Do you know why that is? This is the reality of that statement.
Yes. Let's hear it.
We live paycheck to paycheck. right? We spend every dollar every single month.
Yes.
When we do a mortgage, we don't qualify you paycheck to paycheck. We want you to have money left over at the end of the month.
Yeah. I mean, you don't
that is the difference right there.
Yes.
So paying $2,000 a month in rent and your bank statement has $6 at the end of the month, that's not a good thing.
No.
So because when you own a home, there's expenses that you're responsible for that add up very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Very quickly. Water heaters.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I've had one go out.
Yep. I used to think they were $300. That's the last time I bought one.
Nope.
They were $300.
Like $1,000.
Yeah, they're over $1,000 now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Even refrigerators. I'm like, holy cow.
What if your furnace goes out?
Oh, easily $5,000 right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got big expenses.
Yeah.
And when we qualify you for a home too, we don't know what your extra expenses are.
Mm-hmm.
So like your utilities, if you have your cell phone bills, your insurance, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we don't want to qualify you on 100% of your income. That just puts you in a bad position. We don't want you to lose your home. No, we don't want it back.
Nope.
So we're going to make sure that at least on paper, it looks like you're going to have some money left over at the end of the month. So please, when you see this is if there's two things you take away today. What was the first one?
I forget.
I forget too. Remember this one.
Oh, the focus on the rates.
Nope, it was
don't focus on the rates.
Yeah, don't focus on the rates. But the other one, yeah, I felt like there was something else that was really important.
There was. What was it?
That's old brain.
Rewind back and watch
back.
it.
But anyway, we live paycheck to paycheck. We don't qualify paycheck to paycheck. That's why.
Well, which is, and I appreciate that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I did a situation where I was house poor,
mm-hmm.
and that was not fun.
I've been there.
Like
it wasn't fun.
Yeah, I couldn't like go anywhere with my kids, go
mm-hmm.
on trips, like because we had no money. Like
mm-hmm.
I was just strapped, and I'm like, what am I doing? And of course, this is before I was in real estate. I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm making all this money, like I can afford this, and I was trying to like, keep up with the Joneses or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And and then obviously the economy took a dive, and I was not making as much anymore. So you have to like think about that, right?
Yep.
Like you're not guaranteed to get paid what you're getting paid. Something could happen, you could get sick, get in an accident, can't no longer work, your job could close. I mean, there's so many things.
Absolutely. As much as we like to live in the moment, which I see, it's just, you gotta prepare for those future things. That'll wipe you out so fast, and we just don't want to see that happen. We're trying to prevent that from happening. Yeah. If anybody is going to be the voice of reason in a financial transaction, it's us, and that's the reason why.
Oh yeah, like I've had clients that want to buy, this crazy expensive home, and I'm telling them, you might want to think about that. And obviously, like I could be like, yeah, let's do it, more commission for me, but I'm not thinking of that. I'm thinking, okay, is this going to put you in a bad situation later? Because I don't want you coming back to me 2 years later saying, I need to sell, like I can't afford to live here anymore. Like I want you, I want you to love your house and not be resentful of it.
Exactly. And we want you guys to have a life outside of your house.
I want you to be able to buy, your pricey shoes. Yeah. If that's your thing.
And the DoorDash. So here's another thing. Exactly. Here's another thing. On average, we spend $2,000 to $3,000 a month on non-essentials.
Oh, absolutely.
I have analyzed many bank statements because I get told I don't have any money for down payment. I don't have any money for this. And so I'll go through a bank statement to try and figure out, all right, what is the challenge? What is the boundary, or why are we running into this roadblock? Yeah. And if you actually look at your bank statement and what you're spending your money on average is $2,000 to $3,000 a month. Jeez. DoorDash, gas station stops, shopping, Amazon, subscriptions, stuff like that. So if you're wondering where your money goes, take a look at that and have a hard conversation with yourself, because let's say it's $2,000 a month on all of that. If you were to even just cut that in half and save $1,000 a month in 1 year, you're going to have $12,000 in your bank statement.
That's true.
In your bank account.
That is true.
If you're spending $3,000 a month on this stuff, which I see so regularly, it's crazy.
Easy to do.
It's so easy. We just swipe, right?
Swipe it. Swipe and forget. Swipe and forget.
So even $1,500 a month. I mean, think of what you're saving by the end of the year.
That's true.
Yeah. So there's another real
look at the
conversation that we have too. If you are wondering what's going on with my finances because I make this money, but I don't have any money left over. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to go look at my bank statement.
I know, it's so crazy. Oh, if I pull my bank statement up and I'm like, I ate out 3 times last week.
Oh, God,
I'm
yeah.
terrible.
Well, that's just it. Eating out is so expensive.
It is so expensive.
Yeah. So,
yep.
Very, very, very good information.
Do you guys have fun?
Yeah, I did.
I felt like this was a fun one. I think they're all
fun. I just hope that it wasn't too like screwy on Facebook.
Exactly.
Hopefully. Look at that. We went an hour and 10 minutes. Look at that.
Are you guys yawning now?
If you're happy and clap your hands. If you want to see me and Dede, clap your hands. People are like, oh my God, shut up now.
What's in your coffee? What did you put in my coffee?
Who put something in my coffee? Did someone say that?
No.
Oh, you said it. Oh, somebody commented, what's in your coffee? I didn't put anything in your coffee. In fact, I told them not to put anything in your coffee.
Because you didn't want to deal with
yeah, exactly. Hey. Oh, Angela, come in. Come in. Come in.
Say hi. We're just about done.
Come say hi to everybody.
You're bringing me purses.
Look how beautiful you are. We've got Angela in the house.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Angela,
come say hi.
Say hello. Hi. She's also a realtor. and our Montana Association almost Presidente for next year.
President-elect.
President-elect. I always say almost Presidente.
Yeah, almost.
You're almost there.
Okay, you guys get to.
Oh, we're gonna finish it. No, you can stay. We're just gonna end it now, so you can visit. Okay. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching once again. We'll do this again.
Yeah, we'll do this again. I'm glad that you remember. You're like, oh, hey, are you ready for a coffee chat?
And she's like, hell yeah, hell yeah. And we always argue who buys the coffee next.
It's my turn next time for sure.
Okay, we got this recorded now, so we can go back because usually like, no, it's my turn. No, it's my turn. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good weekend. All right, that's gonna end there and there.